I was contacted by Ezviz and asked if I wanted to review this DB2 battery powered video doorbell. It's fitted with a 3 megapixel camera, comes with two-way audio communication. It can be connected via an app or Amazon Alexa so that it gives you notifications if people come to your doorway. It's got PIR human and motion detection. It's fitted with a 5200 milliamp hour battery, and they reckon you'll get about 4 months use out of it, but that obviously depends on how much traffic you get at the door. So before I unbox it, I'll just say that this is a UK version. So let's take a look at the box and what's inside. The doorbell is very nicely packaged. Remember, you can pause the video if you want to look at it in more detail. So inside the box we've got the doorbell, the wireless chime, which is also a Wi-Fi repeater to extend the range of the doorbell, a drill template for the brackets, a quick start guide with some other paperwork. Now the 3 brackets, you've got 3 different options. You can actually mount that flat on whatever surface you want to mount it to. This bracket will either tilt the camera up or down, and then this you can use to actually turn the camera so that it's pointing slightly left or slightly right. So quite a few options there for mounting it. A foam backing strip, some double-sided tape to mount it directly onto PVC or something like that so that you don't have to drill. Roll plugs and screws. Then we've got some electrical connections there, because I do believe that you can wire this up permanently if you want to. A screwdriver. This little pin is for removing the camera or doorbell from the bracket. A micro USB charging cable. So that's everything that's inside the box. That is a notification. So it is pretty quick. Everything works the way you'd expect it to, and you cannot miss the fact that this thing beeps, because you're not expecting to beep when you walk up to the door. It beeps. Blue light flashes. You press the button. Now when you press the button outside, I get actually a notification allowing me to speak, so I can answer that now. So that was actually footage from the doorbell. Now I had to use a screen recorder to show it to you, because the video that the camera records on the doorbell won't play on anything. So you need to actually use a screen recorder or the app or the PC client software to look at it, which I think is a big drawback. You should be able to show anybody the video and they should be able to play it on their computers, but unfortunately you can't. Now I've got to say that I like the build quality of the doorbell, and it actually works okay, but it's taken me a long time. 3 days it's taken me to actually take the thing out of the box and get it to work the way that I want it to work, and there are still small glitches with the thing that I'm not very happy about. Saying that, it is doing everything it's supposed to do. The doorbell rings, the chime works, and you can actually have two-way conversation. You can see on that piece of video that the conversation is possible. It's not very loud, but you can certainly hear it, and it certainly works. But I've got to say that the instructions are absolutely abysmal, and they really do need to spend some time writing instructions that people can understand. Anyway, enough of that whinge, let's get into the review. On the quick start guide there is a QR code, and it says scan the QR code for detailed user manual. Unfortunately this doesn't work, or it didn't work on my iPhone, so I'm going to show you how to actually get there using a web browser. In your web browser, type in www.ezvizlife.com and go to the home page. Scroll down to the bottom of the home page and select Download Center. Scroll down to User Manual, click on More, and then select DB2. And you'll see there that there's a PDF file with all the detailed instructions in. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put the doorbell on charge. There's a little cover there where we plug in the micro USB cable. I've got to pull that out. It's quite difficult to remove. So that's the cable plugged in, and you can see we've got a flashing red light. When you actually plug it in, it turns the doorbell on and the PIR is active. So the battery is now fully charged, and you can see that the bell there has changed blue and stopped flashing. On the top there we've got the PIR sensor. Obviously in the centre there, that's a camera lens. This is a light sensor that detects when it's getting dark, so it goes onto infrared. Then we've got the doorbell button with a built-in LED. So on the side there we've got the charging port with a waterproof cover for the micro USB cable. This is a microphone. On the other side we've got a speaker. So on the bottom of the doorbell there you can see that there's a little hole. That is the release mechanism for taking the doorbell off the mounting bracket. The little pin that comes in the box is used to press down and you can see it pushes that little lug in. So on the back of the doorbell we've got an on and off switch and a reset button. Now the reset button is not mentioned anywhere in the instructions. To turn the doorbell on, press the on off button for 1 second. As you can see there, the blue LED is lit. So it takes a few seconds to start up. You can see that the LED there is flashing, and that is because of the PIR. And to turn it off, you hold down the power button for 5 seconds. And you can see we've got 3 red LEDs there just to let you know it's switched off. So let's take a look at the chime. You can see we've got a speaker there. This is an LED, which is a status indicator. We've got the 2 antenna on the top there. Then on the side we've got a slot for a micro SD card and a reset button. On the top there is a QR code which is actually used to set the camera up. So to set the camera up you need to download the Ezviz app. So when you register it will ask for your email address and a phone number, but you do not need to enter a phone number in order to register. I just entered an email address and created a password. So I'm going to set everything up now to make sure that it all works before I actually place the doorbell outside. I shall turn on the doorbell. So next we need to plug in the chime, and it must be within 4 meters of the doorbell. So you can see that we've got a red LED on the chime. When it starts flashing blue, then it's ready to connect. So there, it's flashing blue there. So the next thing to do is to go into the app, click on the plus button and then select the doorbell. Now you'll see there that that's asking for a QR code. The QR code is on top of this. So there, it's found the device. Click on devices powered on, go on to next. So now we've actually got to connect this to the Wi-Fi system. So we'll click on start there. It's asking me whether the indicator is flashing blue, so I'll click on that. Next. It's detected my network and it's asking for the password for the router now. So I'm going to type that in. So I've entered the password. Now I've got to click join. And it says it's connecting to Wi-Fi. So the LED on there is still flashing red. That's looking promising. It's gone from red to blue. Now it's saying that the network is connected. And you can see the camera's working now because I'm on there. So I'm going to put an SD card in here because I don't intend to use the cloud storage facility because you've got to pay for that. So if I put the SD card in this, it will record video onto the SD card and I can play it back later. There we go. So as you can see, I've actually mounted the doorbell onto one of our double doors here. It's PVC. I used the double-sided sticker. You can see that it's pretty solid there. If I move it around, there's absolutely no movement on it. And it's a very secure way to fix it if you've got a nice smooth surface like this to stick it to. Otherwise you'll have to drill and screw it in some form or another. But I'm quite happy with the way it's mounted. I've had quite a lot of problems setting it up. It's actually recording video and it's working on the app. So what it does is it sends me a notification to say that there's a PIR alarm, and it allows me to play back the video, and it records the video in short bursts. The video is recorded onto the chime because that's got the memory card in there, or you could use the cloud service if you're prepared to pay for that. But it's quite a robust system in the way that it works. Now the fact that it beeps and that blue light flashes, and that's a notification coming in there again. So the fact that it beeps and the blue light flashes will draw anybody's attention to the doorbell when they're approaching the door. So they'll hear it beep, they'll see the doorbell. Now if it's somebody that's up to no good, it might put them off, it might not, who knows. But if it's someone that actually wants to ring the doorbell, they can see it instantly and they can tell that it's a doorbell because there's a lovely little bell icon in the middle of this button. So what I'll do now is I'll just demonstrate how to remove this if you want to charge a battery. Now I think there's a possibility of charging this battery while it's in situ. If I can get the wire through the door and shut the door over the wire, that's a possibility. But if you want to take it off, remember we've got the pin there that just goes underneath, and you push up and then lift up the doorbell. It comes off very easily. Obviously to put it on, it's just over the top and slide it down, and it is really solid. This plate has got to go on in a certain direction, and you can see there's a little up sign there to tell you which way to orientate this base plate. So I'm actually going to imitate somebody walking to the door, and I'll kind of come the way I would expect them to come, and we'll see when the thing detects me. The blue light's on now, it's given the beep. That is a notification, so it is pretty quick. Everything works the way you'd expect it to. The blue light flashes, you press the button. Now when you press the button outside, I get actually a notification allowing me to speak, so I can answer that now. So that last clip was just to show you what the chime is like inside, so you could hear the chime ringing inside. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I think that the Doorbell camera is really very good. It's good quality video. The Doorbell works and it does what it's supposed to do, but it is seriously let down by the instructions, and unless you're prepared to faff around, you're going to find it quite difficult to set this doorbell up the way you want it and to use it. The fact that it doesn't record video in a format that anything will play is also a big letdown, because you can't do anything with the video once you've got it. You can't send it to somebody, say if there's an incident, and there's an awful lot of faffing around to watch it. You can see it easily on the app, which works reasonably well, but instructions are virtually non-existent for most of what you want to use, and that is really poor. I think if Ezviz are prepared to spend some time sorting the instructions out properly, they can turn it into a really good product that's really easy to use. But they need to look at the software applications and change them, make them more user friendly, and just work on sorting things out so that they work smoothly. Other than that, it is a good doorbell, and it does produce good video, and it does warn you when someone's coming to the door, and it does let you know when someone's pressed the button. So it achieves everything that it's supposed to. It's just a big chew to get there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and please take care.